www.thepowerofvoices.com. Back with you, it's the Jesse T Show. As we roll through the week on the way to another wonderful summer weekend here in Southern California, you are live at 5 with us, and you're straight on the point. And lots of stuff to talk about today. We're going to have a little potpourri of a lot of things that we're going to chat about, not just stick on one topic, because there's so much to cover. So much is happening in the world, from the Olympics to the politics to all kinds of terrific things in the entertainment business, sports, everything. It's just all of a sudden everything's blown out on the scene here in the last week or so. Lots of stuff to talk about. I've been wanting to have the opportunity just to kind of touch on a lot of different things. Today being a show as we move towards the weekend. We usually try to do a lighter show on Wednesday, but about the only light show I was doing yesterday was the light show in my car as I watched the gas tank go down and the light show started up, and I had to find some gas as we were broadcasting live. I think about one of the funnest things that we did yesterday is I had the dueling phones, you know. I had the RNC phone and the DNC phone, and it was about the funnest thing. But we did get some gas, and I didn't run out for the umpteenth time as I have. I have not run out once in the Gray Ghost, and that is saying a lot. If you know me, I have a tendency to push the limit on everything, and I don't know why that is. Me push the limit? No way. Hey, we had a good time last night on the fabulous Jesse T Show. I don't know if you had the chance to tune in at AVTV Live, the entertainment channel, on Facebook.com/Jesse Terrero. But we were broadcasting live on our TV station and our digital format, our digital broadcasting network, as we were out in Covina for a premiere of a trailer of a new movie. I haven't done a premiere for a trailer yet, and that was kind of cool. A movie called Redemption Process. It's actually not a movie. What it is being developed as is a TV dramatic police kind of whodunit series. But the hook here is that they're gonna talk about all the conspiracy theories within this, sort of like the X-Files in a lot of way, but done in a more of a dark kind of police fashion. And I'd like to thank Michael Angelo, the star and director and writers that brought us out there to broadcast live. And we had a great red carpet. That's all up on our Facebook.com/Jesse Terrero page as we broadcast here on our digital TV network. And you can use our app on thepowerofvoices.com. That's a free app, a download. You go to your Apple service or your Android service, and you can download our app. It's a cool-looking app with a world in green and a microphone, and it says The Power of Voices. It's really cool. You hit that app, load it up, and you'll always be with us 24/7 at the touch of your thumb. And what that does, it takes you to all the great programs we have here at thepowerofvoices.com. We have so many terrific hosts covering so many different topics. It really is a potpourri, a buffet of a lot of different things that you can get involved with and learn some really great information. Lots of charitable activities here at the Power of Voices, a lot of organizations to get involved with if you like to do that. It's just a terrific program and a terrific station as we grow and grow and grow more because of you, our loyal listeners and our loyal viewers. When you hit that app, you can either go to our website, but it's easier to go to the app. When you hit the app, then it'll take you to our live feed. And we have multiple cameras in the studio. We're going to be expanding some of those ideas out. We're on YouTube Live, also on 2 Facebook formats. We're on the Power of Voices Facebook, and we're on Jesse Terrero, that's me, the Brown Beauty on Duties, a Facebook tab. We're also on UPeak. We are also on Stream Up, and we also are on a couple of other places like Livestream and Periscope, Instagram, and Snapchat. So, we've got both angles covered here. For those of you who can only listen on the radio, thanks a lot. We appreciate that. But if you can listen and watch us, there's a lot of activity that goes on in the studio when yours truly, me, Jesse T's on the air. You never know what I'm going to be doing. I'm doing all kinds of things. I might be dancing on the table, doing the Roaring Twenties kick dance. I don't know. I might be doing a lot of stuff. But we certainly had a good time out in Covina last night at Trevino's restaurant. They opened the place up. We had a terrific red carpet. Lots of fun. Invite you to go check out that and check out the trailer. You can find that online. So as we move into a weekend here, we're only a few short days away from it. Across America, of course, on the East Coast, they're already in the evening time, and the day is done as we start to get rid of our day here in Los Angeles. It's been a beautiful day in Southern California, another beach weather holiday. Every day is a beach weather holiday in Southern California. There's nothing like the beautiful Pacific Blue Ocean. Unlike anywhere else in the world, the blue ocean is just so pretty. And it's blue because it's so deep and it's huge. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful day here in Southern California, hanging around at the beaches. The traffic sucks. It always does. It doesn't get any easier. What you think it might be easier, and then all of a sudden you get the clamp down. You talk about the clamp down. I mean, there's no medicine for that. You can't even get around. You used to be able, if you knew your place around this town, you used to be able to cut through alleys and cut across gas station parking lots and Home Depot parking lots and stuff and go around warehouses and do the back streets and the neighborhood streets. Not anymore because everybody else has figured it out with that darn GPS. That GPS has just messed it up for everybody like me who had a Thomas guide in his head. I had like 4 Thomas guides in my head, and that was my GPS. I could scoot around and scamper and kind of laugh at folks, but not anymore. That GPS, we get stuck on these streets, on the side streets. It's terrible. Probably good for an entrepreneur selling lemonade or fruit punch. That would be kind of an entrepreneurial thing. But of course, you might get arrested in the city of Los Angeles for illegal vending, because you can't do vending on the side of the street. There are penal codes and municipal codes against that. They don't enforce them, though. They don't enforce much of anything in the city of Los Angeles. I think that the L.A. City Council has just decided that they've taken a vacation for the last 5 or 6 or 7 years, and they just aren't enforcing anything. Because in this town, folks, unlike a lot of other cities, like in New York, the police are governed by a different entity. Chicago is different. But in Los Angeles, the police answer to the police commissioner, but it's not like you see on TV where the police commissioner is this like Tom Selleck dude, he's not that. No, the police commissioner is a panel of commissioners, and they actually answer to the city council. So the city council kind of rules the roost. The city council, of course, creates the legislative aspects here in Los Angeles, the rules and the regulations, and now with the city attorney, the mayor just kind of stands around and looks pretty in this town. I don't think he gives speeches, and that's about what he does. But the city council kind of rules the roost here, and so lately, in the last 5 or 6 or 7 years, I really believe that many of the city council members have just taken a Mexican siesta. If you've never been to Mexico, then you understand. If you've been to Mexico, you understand what I'm saying. But if you've never been to Mexico, you have no idea what I'm saying. Because in traditional Mexico, they take a siesta after lunch, so they get another 2-hour kind of free time zone there. And then all of a sudden, 5 o'clock rolls around, and they can go home. It's just it's an amazing thing. I loved it there. I said, wow, you get to have some lunch. Then you come back from lunch, you work for an hour and a half, you take a little siesta, and then you go home. Maybe work for another half hour, and then you're out of there. But I think our city council here in Los Angeles is taking a grand siesta. Except there are a couple of council members that I truly do like. I like the president of the city council, Mr. Wesson. He's very good. I also like Nuri Martinez for CD6. I think she's terrific, and I'm glad to see that Felipe Fuentes in CD7 is retiring, and there's about 25 people running for that. My name is in the basket of names, but I haven't done too much to really partake in running. I'm kind of hovering like a satellite around Pluto or a satellite around Jupiter. I'm kind of hovering, thinking, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. I don't know what I should do. I'm kind of in between and betwixt on that one. But I will tell you that there are some really good people on the city council, and then there are some real knuckleheads. Just absolute knuckleheads. They just don't get it. So, but I wish they would enforce some of the things around the city of Los Angeles more than they do. The police hands are tied. I'll give you for example. We have a terrible drag racing and vending problem in the Northeast San Fernando Valley. And these are not the taco trucks like you see from King Taco and all those food trucks. They have a license to do that. They're licensed. They pay a tax to the city of Los Angeles to run their business out of their truck, okay? But you see late at night, the vendors, they come up and they kind of go in the nooks and crannies between buildings, and they set up a tent, and they bring out the portable barbecue and the portable cooking devices, and they don't have any refrigeration. All the meat, think about this when you go buy some tacos from them, all the meat is sitting in ice chests that just have melting ice. And in the middle of the day when they're out there, you know what happens to meat? It gets rancid very quickly. So you got to be very careful. The health department doesn't raid them. The health department doesn't regulate them. They're supposed to, but they don't because they don't have the manpower, because the health department is out of the county of Los Angeles. And the county of Los Angeles health department only has a handful of people to cover the whole county. The city of Los Angeles doesn't even have a health department to cover that kind of stuff. But so the police can't do anything about that. And because the city council has decided that they're going to kind of hold off on a decision whether or not they should legalize vending or end vending. Okay? One way or the other. Well, the last estimate is about 60,000 illegal vendors are all around the city of Los Angeles partaking in their business, from car washes to balloon sales to food sales to clothing sales to little swap meet sets up on the corner. Like if you go down by MacArthur Park, just kind of west of downtown Los Angeles, it's just a giant, it's like a bazaar. It's a giant bazaar. If you've never been to a bazaar in Egypt or anything like that, it's like going down Santee Alley in downtown Los Angeles. There's something different on every 5 feet. And all that is illegal. It's not legal to do that. They leave their trash, they defecate, they urine, they do all kinds of stuff. Crime comes with it: pimping, human trafficking, drug running, illegal identification, scams this, scams that, robbery, arrests, 459s, people getting their cars stolen, broken into, houses, businesses. It creates a quagmire of a giant hill of horse pucky. It's unbelievable. And you can't get rid of it in the city of Los Angeles because the city council has decided they don't want to vote on whether or not they want to legalize or not legalize illegal vending. And here's why. Because most of your illegal vending are done by Hispanics, by Latinos. Now, I know that for a fact. I've lived in this town for 54 of my 55 years, and you can't argue this with me. I'm a real estate broker. I drive all around the city and county of Los Angeles every day, all the time. And all you see, for the most part, in the large majority, are Latinos that have come here, and that's where they start their business. The argument is, well, they have a chance to come to America and they have a chance to start their business. Yes, but they should start it the legal way, because the poor guy that does have a taco business down the street in a nice little building where he pays lease, workman's comp, insurance, taxes, he pays for his food, he pays for his security. He gets put out of business by the 14 others that have paid nothing. And some of these illegal vendors, they make $5,000 a weekend selling $2 tacos. It's unbelievable the money they make cash free and no taxes.
How much?
$5,000 a weekend.
I'm getting ready to go illegal.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you. That's why they do it. There's almost
cash.
60,000. So when the police do come in with the health department and it becomes such a bad area, and they finally do a clampdown because the community forces them to do it with so much political pressure and video and media pressure and organizational pressure, or somebody got raped or murdered or shot in that specific location, they finally shut it down. You know what happens? These people, they get shut down. They get their equipment confiscated. They can't take it back. They get all the food gone, which is probably rancid anyway, and they get all this stuff taken away, and they're up the next day because they're making $3,000 to $5,000 a weekend. And this equipment only costs like $500 to $1,500. So they could have that stuff taken away 3 or 4 times in a month and still be in a profit margin. You see what I'm saying? So they laugh at this when this happens. That's because our city does not enforce the rules that are on the books. And here's why. Because the constituents, as we know here living in Southern California, the largest group of people right now in existence at this point are Latinos, Hispanics, okay? And they rule the constituent platform. They rule the vote, all right? Even though the fastest growing ethnic diversity in the city of Los Angeles are people of Asian background. That is the fastest growing cultural group right now. And they're projecting that the Asian influence by 2030 or 2025 is going to be well higher. Well, much, much greater than any other influence that has impacted Southern California here. But right now, that impact is mostly Hispanic, legal, and illegal aliens coming over here. Yeah, it doesn't matter. They're here. They're conducting their business on the sides of the streets, and it's illegal. Now, here's the thing. The city council won't vote on it because where do you think they get their votes? Right. It would be so bad publicity for them to say, sorry, you can't do that anymore, and we're going to enforce it. And then, how do they enforce it? What do they have? Illegal vending police patrol? Or what do they have? You know, hire 500 more health department officials? You know, none of that's going to happen. So now we have this proliferation of illegal vending, and it tears apart a neighborhood. So in the Northeast San Fernando Valley, we have this problem, just like everywhere else. In the city of Sun Valley, which I'm part of the city council, neighborhood city council of Sun Valley, in the city of Sun Valley, what we have there going on is we have something called illegal vending as well. But the illegal vending, the food stations aren't as prolific as other types. Like, how about car washes? You got three guys coming up using a parking lot of a business that's not in business on Saturday and Sunday. They got three car washes going on in there. Even though they're self-compacted with the tanks and all that stuff, all that dirty water goes down the drain into the LA River system and pollutes the river system where the kayakers are out in front of Griffith Park. We just read an article that there's bacteria there that's way above, so they've shut it down because they can't control the kind of stuff that goes down the gutter. So that just adds to the pollutants out in the Pacific Ocean. But here's the point. The point is, it's illegal. You can't do that. They're sitting on somebody else's property they're paying taxes, insurance for, a mortgage payment. And most of these people don't even know. And the ones that do know are getting paid off. And if they're getting paid off to do that, they're breaking the city law. They're breaking the law. And the city attorney comes down on them for that through building and safety. Building and safety is like the fear of God if you own a building in the city of Los Angeles, because they could wreck your life. I don't care if you built your building yesterday and it just passed C of O, certificate of occupancy, and it's a brand new building that's shiny like gold and silver. I guarantee you, if building and safety wants to come in the next Tuesday, they're going to find a dozen things wrong with it, because that's just the way it is. So building and safety is like, they're like the secret police. You don't ever want building and safety to come knocking at your door. So here's the problem. Like, for instance, in the city of Sun Valley, what happened recently is we had three vendors out there in the middle of the day, illegal vending on a weekend, and some guy came up with a gun and robbed them all. Armed robbery in the middle of daylight. Walked up to him and said, stuck a gun in and said, give me the money. Now, what if those other people that had the businesses had a gun? We would have had like a Wild West shootout right there. Right there. Now, most of these guys just spray and pray. They're not like experts. They can't place one shot like in the movies. So bang, drop. No, it's like da 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 da, and they don't hit nothing. What they do hit is your mother and your sister and your little boy and your little girl and your brother and your dog with those stray bullets that are traveling at what? Mach 1? In your yard, walking across the street. You see, we just had that happen. And that's just one of many incidents. See, illegal vending creates a cash flow a cash flow that's cash. They don't run credit cards. They don't run debit cards. They don't run checks. They don't run any other form of payment. It's cash, baby. So that means these cats got fat cash in their fat pockets, and everybody knows that. Creates a problem. Creates a problem. So you see, this illegal vending thing drives me insane in the city of Los Angeles. So if the city would just do the things that they're supposed to do, then we wouldn't have the problems that are paramount that spill over into your life and my life and dissolve our quality of life. I mean, would you like an illegal all-night vendor setting up against your wall on the sidewalk at 1 o'clock in the morning with all the drunkards that come there and all the little gangsters throwing the trash and throwing whatever comes out of their bodies into the corners and the dark trees? I don't think so. Then why don't you get it up in arms about it right now? You folks living in the city of Los Angeles, go down to City Hall, contact your council person and say, hey, I don't want this. If someone's going to come to my country and start a business, they're going to start a business the way I got to start a business. Got to get a business license. Got to find a place to put your business at and get a lease going. Got to qualify for that lease with good credit. Got to be able to make that lease payment. Got to do workman's comp. Got to have insurance, liability insurance for outside and inside. Got to pay for your food. Got to pay for your water. Got to pay for your T-shirts. Got to pay for your furniture. Got to pay for all this. Got to have a little supply. Start the business the way I got to start the business. It's not fair. After all, aren't we supposed to be fair in America? Contact your council person and tell them, hey, I don't want any illegal vending in my yard, in front of my business when I go home at night. They tap in. They break into the water faucets of these warehouses. They break into the electrical panels. They're very ingenious. Very ingenious, man. And a lot of people don't even know that. Oh, it's crazy. And the security guards at night, they're paid off. How do I know all this? Because I fight this stuff. I fight the Coalition Against Human Trafficking here in Los Angeles with my partner, Cindy Sauer. We fight street issues like illegal dumping. You know, if you dump some dirt because you don't want to go to the dump to dump dirt because you're a dirty guy and you want to dump the dirt on somebody's street and not at the dump where you're supposed to be dumping the dirt in the back of your truck that you got to dump because you got to pick up more dirt to dump later. If you don't dump it in the dump, you want to know what happens? You dump it on my street and I catch you. That's a $10,000 fine. It's $1,000 right now, but it can escalate to a $10,000 fine, yet they still do it. We got a case going right now through the court system. There's 10 cases that the city attorney has for the San Fernando Valley. 10 cases. They're going to use one of them as the kingpin, the show it case. Now, would you like to wake up in the morning in front of your driveway, have polluted, toxic-filled, hazardous-filled dirt dumped in your street? And the cars go over it. You might have a Hummer. Hey, you might be able to have a Jeep. You might be able to drive over, but it kicks up dust back into your house and toxifies your children, your wife, your grandma, your dad, your mom, your sister, and your neighbors. Oh, isn't that nice? Because before the city can come up and pick up that dirt, you want to know what they have to go through? They got to send like 14,000 hazardous mat guys, and they take samples of the dirt to find out what kind of chemicals are in the dirt before they can pick it up and send their crews out there to dump it. It takes like a month and a half to get rid of that dirt because it's got to be tested, because they got to know where to take that dirt. They just can't take that dirt over there because that dirt over there can't go over there. It's got to go over here. So that dirt's got to go in Arizona. It's got to go to landfills. It's got to go here, there, whatnot. But I mean, and it goes on and on and on. Now you wonder why the city of Los Angeles has no money? Forget the federal government's waste. What about California? What about the city of Los Angeles' waste? You know what your council person makes a year? $195,000 a year. Now, let me ask you, do you know 10 people in your life, unless you live in Beverly Hills, Bel Air, Playa del Rey, Pacific Palisades, Calabasas, where all the superstar athletes are moving to now, the Oaks? You can't count 10 people on your hand that make $195,000 a year. $195,000 a year. Wow. Is that amazing? You know what a roofer makes for the Department of Water and Power? They have their own roofing department. You know what a roofer makes? I'm not talking about a guy who's been on the job for 10 years. I'm talking about a guy who's been on a job for a couple years. He got past the layoff period, right? $100,000 a year. You say, well, how do you know that, Jesse? Because I've seen everybody's tax returns and credit reports. I've been selling real estate for 36 years. I know what people make. I've seen thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of tax returns and credit reports. I know what people make. A roofer for the DWP. Man, if you're a roofer, you better go get a job over there. City Council makes $195,000 a year, and that doesn't include the 401k. You do 2 terms of City Council at $195,000 a year, you're guaranteed your retirement fund, just like LAPD and the fire department. That's why there's 22 people running for Felipe Fuentes' seat, CD7. Craig Powers says his city council member in Arizona, Laughlin, I believe, makes $6,000 a year. LA City Council member makes $195,000 a year. And they get a car. And they get all kinds of field representatives to help them. No wonder every city council member, when they get into the job, within 2 weeks, man, they are dressing awful snazzy. Woo, baby. Their clothes have just increased in value. Woo, they're looking good. Yeah, they even make ugly people look good. And when clothes can make an ugly person look good, that means those clothes are awful expensive. I'm telling you, $195,000 a year. This is why we got the traffic problem. This is why we got these problems that I talk about. It's unbelievable. Completely out of hand. And yet they want to increase your taxes because you're a Democrat. You'll vote for tax increation. That's a new word. That's a Jesse T word. Incretion. I've just added that to the Webster's dictionary. Incretion. Let's cut to the chase. Increase and insertion. Incretion. Yes. INCREATION. No, CREATION. Yeah. Hey, it's www.thepowervoices.com. We're here Monday through Friday from 5 to 6, and I'm rambling on here about the city council because it just drives me insane. The traffic drives me insane. Southern California is one of the most beautiful places in the world. By the way, you can always check us out by hitting our app, downloading that app to your Apple phone or your Android. Download that app, and you'll catch us here on our digital broadcasting network. And we're everywhere on YouTube Live. We're on Meerkat. We're on UPeak, Ustream, Stream Up, Live Stream, Periscope, Instagram, Snapchat, through AVTV Live, and our Facebook format there. So we're on 2 Facebook platforms right now. And also, encourage you to call at 424-227-9461. We don't take a lot of calls in this show, but we do take calls occasionally. But hey, good to have you along with us as I ramble on a little bit about the city council because the traffic is just out of the world. So anyhow, illegal vending, illegal dumping, it's unbelievable. All this illegal stuff. We find out about this at the CPAB meeting, the Community Police Advisory Board, which I'm a part of here in the city of Los Angeles. So we get all this scoop. In fact, the meeting is tonight. I got to dart out of here at 6 o'clock and make it back to the Burbank area of the San Fernando Valley like in 20 minutes. Good luck. You know, in 1976, when I was 16 years old, yes, I'm giving my age, 1976, I could get in my car in Sun Valley, Burbank, and drive to Zuma Beach. Now, I know those of you living in Iowa have no idea what that means, but you can Google search on the map. Go from like Sun Valley, California to Zuma Beach, okay? You'll see how long that is and how far that is, right? I used to make that drive, not driving 100 miles an hour like all 16-year-olds do, because they're fearless and they know they won't die. Okay? I used to make that drive in 30 minutes, driving the speed limit. 30 minutes. Middle of the day. I leave Sun Valley Burbank right now, and I go to Universal Studios. Now, if you know, Universal Studios is halfway between Hollywood and the Valley. It's a series of mountains that run there, the Pacific Coastal Region mountains, okay? And Universal Studios sits right at the base of those mountains, one of the largest studios in the world. Now, Sun Valley is about 9 miles to 10 miles from Universal Studios. It takes me 30 minutes to go 10 miles now. It would take me an hour to an hour and a half in the middle of the day to get to Zuma Beach. That's how the traffic has it just exploded. No, Craig, I'm 55. I'm not 56. You're the old timer. This is one of my old PDs. He's watching the show all the time. Thanks, man. Yeah, he says his city manager in Bullhead City makes $195,000 a year. Well, our city council, makes $195,000 a year. You don't even want to know what the city manager makes. Woo! Okay. So, hey, good to have you guys along. Russ Niebert's checking in. Craig Powers is checking in. Dave Rios is checking in. Hey, thanks a lot, guys, for checking in with us. Comedian Gil Fajardo. Hey, Gil, what's going on, buddy? Gil was out at the redemption process last night, cutting it up on the red carpet. Funny guy. You got to check him out. Go to his Facebook page. He was just a crack up man, a good guy. He was up there kind of holding the fort down when they had some technical difficulties there. I didn't have any technical difficulties. And the only difficulties I have is talking sometimes. My tongue gets twisted around words, and I create words like incretion. It's about the only difficulty I have. Dan the Man, the package, that's my sidekick, my buddy. That's Dan the Man, the package, feeling a little bit under the weather. He wasn't out there with us, and he missed a good time because, you know, Dan the Man, the package. He's the package. He's Dan the Man, the ladies' man. You know, what can I tell you? He's Dan the Man. But anyhow, Gil Fajardo, thanks, Gil, for hanging out with us and checking out us here on the Jesse T Show, live at 5, right here on the powerofvoices.com. You're straight on the point, baby. You just entered the world according to Torero. So let's get off into this here and have some fun. As my buddy Lee always says, yeah, baby. Now he's not going to say anything. You know, he's decided to run silent and run deep. So we're going to do some things here. Talk about some whole bunch of other kind of cool stuff. See, he's setting me up, man. That's called the setup, right? Puts his headphones on and he doesn't go on the mic. Makes me tell you that he's going to go on the mic. Yeah. Thanks, Lee. Well, you can check out Lee and give him a hard time from 10 to 12, Monday through Friday. Hey, remember yesterday we talked about technology and how it affects our life? He's listening to me. Lee's got like all his new toys in here. He's got these flexible stands. He's got these new cameras. Man, he's like pig in mud right now, having a good old time. I like that. But remember yesterday we were talking about the technology, and I don't want to talk about too much, but China is doing something that to the internet because as you know, the internet cannot get into China. Google, Facebook, Twitter, all of that is blocked by Chinese Communist government. It's this impenetrable wall. So what has happened with the 700 million people on the internet in China, they call it the intranet. And if you remember, intranet means within the body of something. Internet means outside and covering all. Since China has this wall of the communist government around China, the entrepreneurs have basically copied Facebook and Twitter and copied Google, and they've created their own intranet social networking apps within the Chinese structure and the Chinese wall that they built around the rest of the world. And one of the things that the rest of the world, like Facebook and Google and Amazon, are looking at with the intranet that China has created, this is really mind-boggling. And I'm going to try to get it right. So basically, it works like this: in China, because they can't go outside what they have these channels. One of them is called I think WeChat, and WeChat is you can go on WeChat and you have all the social networking, right? But you also have the ability to buy food, to buy a car, to meet a date, to talk to the restaurateur, to talk to the mechanic fixing your car, to talk to the doctor appointment you have 3 weeks from now, to talk to your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatnot, your significant other, and then they can talk to their dad or mom, and their mom can talk to their mechanic, and their mechanic can talk to their doctor, right? All on the same app, you see, all on the same app. They never leave the app. They never leave the app. Okay, so the difference is that in the apps that are in the world, like Google, you go to their app, you do all that, but you go to another website. You access a third party that allows you to do that, and you engage each other that way. And so what the internet companies are looking at China saying, we like that idea that if somebody comes to our app, they never leave our app. Everything is proprietary within that app. And that's what they do it a little bit differently in China. So consequently, you create these social communities within the app that never leave the app. Everything from, everything from someone to clean your dog, pooch cleaning services, to somebody to wax your car, to airline tickets. Everything is done within that app. Now, there are other companies within that Chinese wall that are competing against each other. So what they're doing is they're signing up all these businesses and all of these schools and all of these and all the people. They're under that one app, and these app communities are growing exponentially. And we don't do that on the outside world, and that's something that's called virali. I'm going to try to pronounce it. It's a new word. It's vahe. It's like virtual reality, but they call it like va-reality. Va-reality. Okay? And it's really interesting. And that's kind of an uncomplicated way that I explained it. But the downside to that is all of that data. And this is why the Google and Facebook, they want to do this. They want to copy this model. Because obviously in China, in the communist government, all that data goes through the communist government. So now they know everything about you at one source. Everything. Well, they don't know everything about you yet, Facebook and Google, all right? But they will when they introduce this kind of model. And the downside to that is this Orwellian society that could be created, that they can structure politics, structure religion, structure schooling, structure the kind of car you buy, the food you eat, based on all this data that they've collected in a different format. And that's kind of the downside. So yesterday when I was talking about technology, you got to be really careful about technology, because technology, it has a good side to it, and it has a really bad side to it. And hopefully we can police ourselves. But, we don't do too well policing ourselves. We really don't. We try to do better policing ourselves, but I think that we kind of let our guard down all the time. And we kind of missed the boat on that one. So that's kind of cool, man, when you look at that. And that's kind of the stuff that's coming here down the line, something that you can look for. I was coming across an article the other day, and it said, it's an article that kind of blew my mind, because this kind of defines the difference in the generations of people who have been raised in this timeline versus the baby boom generation, my generation, of the people who have been raised before. And this is kind of interesting. That blew my mind. And when you think about it, I wanted to cover that real good, and how we played and how we kind of, did our thing in that respect. So anyhow, when you think about how our world has changed, just close your eyes for a second and go back. If you're over the age of, let's say, 50, because that's about the mark right now where the generations have changed. About 50 years old, I think. Because anybody under the age of 50 was kind of born as a millennial. And they're the 45, 6, 7-year-olds are the top end of the millennial generation. So just close your eyes for a second and go back. And millennials, check it out how our life was different than your life. Now, this was before the internet, PC, or Mac, before semi-automatic rifles and crack cocaine. This was before PlayStation and Sega and Super Nintendo, even before Atari, man. We're going way back to Atari. If you had an Atari unit right now and you found it in your basement or your attic or your closet, do you know what that would be worth today? Or a Commodore 64 that was in full working order? I mean, man, that would be worth something. This is before cell phones and CDs and DVDs, voicemail and email, even before pagers. Only doctors had pagers. And they had those big sticks. They were huge. Go way, way, way back for a second. And I'm talking about, the kind of games we used to play. We used to play a game called hide and seek. Hide and seek. Hide and seek till dusk. Now, I just wonder if anybody the millennials have even attempted to play hide and seek in their neighborhoods growing up. I mean, all the guys and the gals in the neighborhood would get together, right? And you do where home base was. That was where the free zone. If you made it there, you didn't have to be the one seeking out the next round. So you had people would go and one of the kids would be the one who was it, and he would count 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. Usually we counted to like 20 because we were all kind of crazy kids growing up in my neighborhood. I mean, we climbed telephone poles, man. We climbed the tops of semi-trucks, of dads who drove semi-trucks. We got in between the tires. We found hiding places in places that you didn't think somebody could put their body. I mean, it was hide and seek. And so then they would go, okay, and he would start looking and working around, and everybody was quiet like a mouse. Man, I loved hide and seek. I loved hide and seek. That was one of my favorite games. How about red light, green light? Remember red light, green light? Red light, green light? Red light, green light? Or red rover, red rover? Now, these are games, man, that they don't play anymore. Kickball and dodgeball. They don't even play that in school anymore, because you can't get hit with a dodgeball. You can't get hit with a kickball in school. Too much liability. You might get whiplash in your neck. I remember playing dodgeball. I loved dodgeball. Remember handball against somebody's garage or wall? And the guy who could do cross countries or sliders on the ground was the best. The girl could do that. I mean, that was so cool. This is the kind of fun we had growing up. There was no reason to have any kind of parental guidance for this. We played until the street lights came on. And when the street lights came on, that means we had to be home. And when we didn't get home in time, when your mom stood out on that porch and yelled, like me, Jesse Glenn! She yelled 3 times. And if I didn't come running around the corner on that 3rd time, I was getting whacked, baby, with a long piece of branch off the black oak tree that she would strip those leaves off and come down and start whacking me all the way home. I mean, that's kind of the stuff that we did growing up. It's so different. I mean, hide and seek, red light, green light. We didn't have PlayStation or anything like that. So we go back even farther and you think about how the generations have changed over the years. It's amazing that we have a difficult time understanding each other. If you're a parent today, you really have to take a step back and see your children for who they are today and how they have grown up. Don't make the challenges and mistakes that I made early on in my kids' life, where I thought the world wasn't changing and it wasn't going to change like it did. But it did change, and I finally caught up with it when they were very young, and I was able to adapt. But ring around the rosy, London Bridge is falling down, hot potato, hopscotch, jump rope. My goodness, jump rope. And the girls that were really good could jump rope with 2 or 3 ropes going at the same time. The only thing that ever happened when I did that is I got rope around my neck, rope around my butt, rope around my leg. I was like a cattle being brought down and tied up, man. I was ready for the branding to come out. Some of the girls are so pretty, I wish they would have branded me. But it never did happen. But yeah, man, jump rope. I mean, you're it. How about you're it? You run, tap somebody, you're it. And then they got to go find somebody. You got your whole crew out there, the whole neighborhood. You're it, right? We would play those games for endless hours in the street, not in a playground, nothing that was fenced in. Parents stood on the front porch, like I said, and yelled, "Come home," or whistled for you. Or there was some unique sound that they did that only you knew, and you could hear it like 25 blocks away. And it didn't matter whether you could hear it 25 blocks away or not. If you told your mama, baby, that you couldn't hear it 25 blocks away, she'd say, "What's wrong with your ears?" and slap you upside the face in your ears and say, "Your ears clogged up? You better hear me 25 blocks away." Oh, man, what a different life, a different summer life we lived at that time, how it's changed so. And that's how societies change. That's why kids grow up to be a certain way in their adulthood. They grow up to be who they are and who they were and how they were raised and where they came from. See, that's really what it is. And you wonder, you shake your head, and you say, well, why are they acting like that? Well, they're acting like that because that's how they were raised to act. I was watching the Olympics. They have rugby now in the Olympics. But what I missed, and what I missed was the Hakas. You know what the Hakas is? The Hakas is when professional rugby teams get together. Oh, I love this. In fact, I'm going to put my iPad up to the microphone here and see if we can see it that way, because I'm surprising my guru Lee with this. But I love this. If this doesn't motivate you, if you're a man and this doesn't get your testosterone going, man, then you need to be you need to join Bruce Jenner. I mean, that's it. I hear he wants to become a man again. I don't know. Okay, this is like the best thing that was ever created. I'll tell you, if I was younger, I wouldn't play football. I played football as a kid in high school and got a full scholarship in college. I tried out for a pro team and got cut. I would play rugby. That's a man's sport, man. It's football without the pads, right? And these guys are huge, like my president Donald Trump, huge. Anyway, check it out, man. You got to check this out. This is just I hope we can see it. I'm gonna kind of raise this up so everybody can kind of see it. You can you see it on that one camera, right there? Okay. I'll make it a little bit bigger. Don't call me. Okay, let's see if I can make this bigger here. Okay. All right. I love this. Let me turn the volume up. This happens before every professional rugby match around the world. This is what they're doing now. And it is, I get goosebumps. I just get goosebumps. This is one of the most powerful hakas that you've ever seen. This is New Zealand teaming off against the Welshmen, okay, for a playoff game this year. And some of the stop it. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay? I'm not gonna say nothing here. Yeah, but they got to be. You think they'll be able to hear it on the microphone behind me, Lee? You think, or maybe they should put on that mic there. Yeah, yeah. That way they can hear it. Okay. All right. Now you can see it on that camera right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna start it. If this doesn't get your blood going to start pumping iron and getting studly, I don't know what will. Okay.
In victory after their 2 Super Rugby titles, but tonight, to mark the occasion, they do it before the match.
Hoya tahaka hey hoya hu hoye hita hanga hita heya ha hoa ya ho hu aka hey hanga heya mohona God, I love that. That is just the most motivating thing I've ever seen in my life. I love that. Did you see the red guys? Those are the Welshmen, man. They were like, whoa, wait. Did you see the faces of those guys? Like, oh, wait a minute, what's going on here? Oh, man. And when you get two of those teams do it, the one team does it, and then the other team has a totally different variation of it, and then the crowd, because these rugby matches, there's 100,000 people. It's like soccer, right? These crowd, man, I'm up in my living room going, I should have been a rugby player. I'll tell you something. God, when I come back to the earth, if you're going to reincarnate me, Lord Jesus, make me a friggin' rugby player. And let me be the guy that does the chant. Oh, Lord. You just never know what Jesse T is going to get into. I can't help but being me. It's Jesse T, you know? You'll never hear this kind of talk show on KABC here in Los Angeles, will you? I might not be here tomorrow, folks. So get as much of me as you can. Oh, Lord. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Oh, okay. Oh, here's something that I came across that I thought was kind of cool. In 1944, Lee, Lee's not talking to me after that. Lee has kind of separated himself from me in distance.
I'm still in shock. Those guys are intense.
Oh, and they're huge. You see how big they are?
Yeah.
These aren't 120-pound men.
No.
These are 250-pound, 60-pound men.
Where were they from?
Those cats are from New Zealand. They're like the world champions of many times, right?
Yeah.
And
the other guys were from where?
Wales.
Wales.
Right.
They were saying, Oh, shit. We got to deal with these guys. Oh,
And they won. The New Zealand team won
Really?
in that game 40-7.
wow.
Now rugby scored a little differently, but it's great. Like, oh man, you should see the guys from Fiji. The guys from Fiji,
Oh, yeah.
the Samoan cats from Fiji and stuff.
They got to be huge.
They're huge, right? But they're all fit guys. I mean, there's
Yeah.
no fat on these
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
But they're just huge, right? And when they do that and they do that, they have a whole different routine. Each one that does that has a different routine. And that's what way to get motivated, huh?
That's like team spirit with the psychological effect of Muhammad Ali on you.
And Joe Frazier.
Well, yeah. Okay, let's throw Joe in.
Yeah, gotta throw Joe in there,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Frazier is down. Frazier is down. Remember that?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man, I just love that. That motivates me, man. That motivates me like no end.
That's intensity.
Well, I love it. That's why I want to play rugby. I'm too old. I can't play rugby
Yeah.
anymore.
Just watch it.
No, I can't. I can't do those kind of sports anymore. Anyhow, 1944, 18-year-olds stormed the beach of Normandy, okay, in 1944. 18-year-olds stormed the beach of Normandy into almost certain death. You know, we're talking about D-Day, right? In 2016, 18-year-olds need a safe place because words hurt their feelings. Go to human resource.
You're wrong. You're so wrong.
Hey, how about this one? And the word comes out. Mr. and Mrs. Khan, we pray for your souls because you're going to need it. Your son was a hero. No doubt about that. Bonafide 100% hero. Admiral Kubik even said it last week. He said his son was a hero, Captain Khan. But you know what they just found out when they politicized everything? These cats went over to Pakistani TV and all Algeria TV or whatever. They were saying all kinds of different stuff. All right? Mm-hmm. They were saying this and that, and Allah's making Trump do this, and Islam's do da-da-da-da-da. You know what they just found out? They just found out that the DNC paid him $375,000 to come show up at the DNC. The Clinton Foundation paid him. You can take that for however you want to take it. You know, I'm not gonna politicize that. $375,000 to talk. I wouldn't mind. Party like it's 1999. The Dow S&P 500, NASDAQ all hit new highs. That's right. But you know something? Those don't affect the regular man. It only affects the giant corporations. The NASDAQ and the stock exchange are there and designed for the corporations. Hey, one last thing, because I think we're ending up in time here, right? We're getting close to our cutoff time?
Yeah, about 30
All right,
seconds.
check it out. Sex robots are being made to replace men by 2025.
Yay!
Sex robots. Sex with a humanoid robot will become common practice by 2025. Is that and our buddy Lon McHugh posted that. You know Lon? Yeah. I work with Lon over at a radio station here in town, KJLH. He posted that up, man. He said sex robots are being made to replace men by 2025. How old am I going to be in 2025? Let me see. That's 10 years from now. I'm 55. I'll be 65 minus, I'll be 65, right? I'll be 64, right? Man, I already need a sex robot. Hey, I heard Charlie Sheen's got a sex doll because no one will have sex with him. Did you see that one?
No.
Yeah, he's got sex dolls. He's got like 17 of them.
I need one now.
Well, don't look at me, man.
I'm not.
Okay, thank you very much. Jesse T 5 Live F5. ThePowerVoices.com, Jesse T Show. Hey, you're entering the world according to Torero, and I bid you part. I allow you to leave. Right? That's my haka for the day. Live long and prosper. We love you. Thanks a lot for joining in. Hope you had fun. The Brown Beauty is off duty. See ya.